What comes to mind when you hear the word narcosis? Undoubtedly, fleets of scenarios would surround cruel individuals like El Chapo and Pablo Escobar. But what occurs when women rise up inside the drug lords, and why are they so much more violent than men? There are female narcos out there who are so violent that they frighten their own boyfriends into calling the police. This is CrimeFlicks, your #1 stop for crime stories. In today's video, we will see the top 5 most violent female drug kingpins and their outrageous and sometimes tragic stories. So let's check it out. Number 1. Griselda Blanco. Griselda Blanco, also known by the names Godmother of Cocaine, the Godmother, and Black Widow, was a Colombian cocaine trafficker who built up a sizable empire and played a key role in the bloody drug wars that raged in Miami in the 1970s and 80s. Although there is a considerable debate regarding her birthplace, Santa Marta in Colombia is where Blanco was baptized, according to a number of sources. She lived in poverty as a child, and it's said that she started committing crimes at a young age. According to some versions, she assisted in the kidnapping of a boy of the age of 11, and when his wealthy family refused to pay the ransom, she shot him to death. She was also accused of being a prostitute and a pickpocket. She married a low-level criminal while she was still in her adolescent years, and they had 3 kids. But after their divorce, Blanco allegedly ordered his death a few years later. She then started dating drug dealer Alberto Bravo in the early 1970s, and later they got married. She became involved in cocaine trafficking thanks to him. The couple started smuggling the drug into America from their base in New York City. In 1975, Blanco returned to Colombia due to drug-related allegations. She started to think that year that her husband was stealing money, and that year Bravo was killed in a shootout with her. She allegedly later killed her 3rd husband as well, living up to her moniker as the Black Widow. She allegedly brought more than 3 metric tons of cocaine into the country each year, earning her almost $80 million each month. In particular, Blanco named one of her boys Michael Corleone after a mob figure from the Godfather film series, embracing her criminal identity. In 1984, Blanco relocated to California due to threats from rivals and fear for her safety. Although she reportedly continued to manage her business while in jail, she was given a maximum 15-year prison term after being found guilty in 1985. In 1994, Blanco was charged with 3 murders after one of her hitmen, George Ayala, volunteered to testify against her. One of the murderers included the shooting death of former enforcer's 2-year-old son, who was slain during an unsuccessful attempt on her father's life. The prosecution was requesting the death penalty, but Ayala's credibility was damaged when it came to light that he had been engaging in phone sex with secretaries working for the prosecutor. One of the women claimed that she was carrying out the prosecutor's instructions, though the prosecutor denied the claims. After accepting a lesser sentence in exchange for her plea in 1998, Blanco was eventually released and deported to Colombia 6 years later. In 2012, while Blanco was leaving a butcher shop in Medellin, a motorcycle-riding shooter shot and killed her. Blanco had supposedly retired from a life of crime. To know more about drug lords, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to receive notifications whenever new crime-related videos are posted. Moving on. Number 2. Malory Chacon. According to a Univision investigation, the Guatemalan Malory Chacon, also known as La Reina del Sur or Queen of the South, who was convicted of drug trafficking and given a 12-year jail sentence in the United States in 2015, has already been out on bail in South Florida. The 47-year-old Malory Dadiana Chacon Rosell was freed from prison because of the fact that she was able to lower her sentence by working with the US government. Chacon oversaw a narcotics network that dealt with cartels in Mexico and Colombia to transport cocaine from Guatemala to the United States. Her moniker is the same as the title of the book by the Spanish author Arturo Pérez Reverte, and a television show that the Mexican actor Kate del Castillo will resume playing starting on April 22nd, the day of the 2nd episode of the season premieres in the United States. The Mexican Sandra via Beltran, who for many years oversaw the flow of drugs from South America to the United States and went by the moniker Queen of the Pacific rather than Queen of the South, is thought to be the inspiration for both the book and the television series. Number 3. La Flaca. Jocelyn Alejandra Neo, also known as La Flaca, was a Mexican alleged assassin of the Gulf Cartel, a gang based in Tamaulipas in Mexico who operated from the 1990s until April 13, 2015. She rose to fame on social media after an unidentified user posted a photo of her posing with a gun on an organized crime league website on January 5th of 2015. She was listed in the post as a resident of Rio Bravo and a member of the Gulf Cartel. She was tasked with beating off cells of Los Metros, a rival gang to Los Ciclones, a Gulf Cartel offshoot she belonged to. She did this as a foot soldier. She was discovered dead on April 13th of 2015, where Mexican officials recovered her mutilated body in an ice chest in a Matamoros parking lot. Her body showed evidence of torture. She could be recognized by the unusual tattoo of her last name, Neo, on her forearm. Investigators also discovered a second dismembered female at the scene, along with a decapitated male who was reportedly a member of Los Cyclones. She was killed, according to a written message left at the scene by Los Metros. Number 4. Sandra Avia Beltran. Sandra Avia Beltran is a member of the Mexican drug cartel and is known as the media as La Reina del Pacifico, or the Queen of the Pacific. On September 28th of 2007, she was taken into custody and accused of conspiring to trade in drugs and organized crime. She was detained in anticipation of her extradition to the United States, despite some accusations being later dismissed. These charges included money laundering and possession of illicit firearms. She was sent to the US on August 10th of 2012 to face criminal accusations brought on by the US government. Officials in Mexico and the United States viewed her as a crucial link connecting to the Norte del Valle cartel in Colombia and the Sinaloa cartel in Mexico. And at number 5, La Catrina. A 21-year-old Mexican cartel assassin who was well known for displaying her curves and lethal weaponry on social media was shot and killed in a gunfight with police. According to the British newspaper The Sun and the Mexican publication El Universal, Maria Guadalupe Lopez Esquivel, also known by the alias La Catrina, was shot in the neck on Friday as the Mexican Army, National Guard, and Michoacan State Police raided the safe house where she lodged with several armed members of the murderous Jalisco New Generation cartel. La Catrina was discovered with blood on her face and clothes after collapsing behind a wall in a state of panic and disarray. As she waited for a helicopter ride to the hospital, footage captured during the gunfight showed her fighting to breathe on the ground as a police officer tried to calm her down. According to local reports, La Catrina passed away from her wounds a few minutes after the hopper took off. The hit woman was regarded as one of the cartel's top officials and had the same nickname as a female skeletal figure from Mexico's Day of the Dead. According to the study at the time of her murder, she was in charge of compensating other cartel members and organizing extortion, kidnapping, and assassinations. She allegedly joined the gang in 2017 after falling in love with Miguel LM2 Fernandez, another leader who was also apprehended during the operation. She has since advanced in position and flaunted her opulent lifestyle. Don't forget to like and subscribe to CrimeFlicks. Also, here's some other amazing videos that you'll enjoy.